Okay, I hope. Ah, okay. Okay. No, this is not the record that I would like. Hello, I think now it should work. Stop recording, start. Okay, so now it's stop the recording. Good. Um, so, okay, good. So the first lecture actually with this title, From Bit to the Internet of Things, History of the Data. In general, in this lecture, just like introduction lecture to give you like an overview of the data history. I assume that all of you have this knowledge already because this is like basic knowledge somehow, but great just to refresh you by these things. As you will see along the way in the lecture that the lecture actually includes in two parts. One, basic knowledge, so that no one will exam you or it's not part of the exam, like the majority of this lecture today. And in between, you will have like some key points that can be in the exam. Okay. So in this lecture, actually today, I hope we can do it in 45 minutes. If not, we'll skip the rest of the lecture and we'll continue it in the next week. What is the data? Try to get like historical overview of the data. What is the value of the data? I hope that you got like grab good value from our exercise. What is the big data? What's the 5V of the big data? History of the big data. Try to give one example or several examples using big data in biology, ecology, and sustainability. Future direction and opportunities. This is like sort of brainstorm question for next exercise. Why we need AI, then pre-course survey, structure of the course, ethical consideration and the challenge for the data, and first workshop preparation. Maybe we'll skip some of these things, but we will start from, if we skip anything here, we will start from the pre-course. Okay, because this is something that we need to finish from now until next workshop or next lecture. What's the data? The data is any numbers, quantities, information, graphs, measurement, observation, facts. The photos that you are make in your social media, this is data. The posts that you are create in social media is data. Your message, the SMS that you send you to your friend is data. All of this is data.
Anything that's recorded in an abstract media?
Not really. Anything that is created, regardless if it's recorded or not, is data. Any number is data. Okay, the contract, your master thesis contract, I think you already signed something like master thesis contract, right? This is data. Any data you collected during your PhD, any number you collected in your PhD or in your master is data. This data can be interview, can be numbers, it can be an experiment that give you numbers or values. Anything in your life, my talk down is data. Okay, and actually the data equal to big value. There is big companies, very super big companies, just get a high benefit from it. Google, for example, is one example. Facebook is another example. I think all of us has like account on Facebook, right? Any one of us pay any money for Facebook? From where Facebook get their money, their benefit? Because simply they are using our data. We make posts, they take this post, analyze it, and then sell the data. Okay, so actually the data equal to money, equal to high value, equal to knowledge. The data, facts, statistic used for reference or analysis, numbers, character, symbols, images, etc., which can be produced by a computer or by human. We need to add human here in this text. So anything that is produced by us, produced by computer, produced by calculator, by any means, is data. Data must be interpreted by a human and machine or machine, and to deliver a meaning or not. It doesn't matter. It can be deliver meaning or no meaning. But the most important thing that you need to know, and this is one of the things that you can get exam or one question, that the data is meaningless. The data itself has meaning. Okay? Is it understandable? The data has no meaning. So when I say 2, 2 is a number, data has no meaning. Right? If you write 2 words in your social media without context, has no meaning. So the data itself, no, meaningless. If we go a bit to the history of the data, actually the recorded history is back to 19,000 before BC. And this is an example of the icon bone. And here on this bone that they discovered somewhere, they found evidence of someone who lived 19,000 years before the BC, who tried to collect some data on this. Then around, of course, the data is start to grow in between, but the remarkable event after that is in 1060. So something like 400, 500 years ago, John Grant introduced the concept of data analysis in 1664. A bit after 200 years, Herman designed a machine that helped compute the US population. After that, and after 100 years, Fritz start to think about the magnetic tape. I don't think any of you use magnetic tape anymore, but old generation as me, we use magnetic tape as a hard disk and this floppy disk that we use it like 20 years ago or 30 years ago as a hard disk for our PCs. So the magnetic tape was used until yesterday, like, 20 years ago. This is yesterday. And then certain in around 90 something, he discovered or he found or he created the WWW, the World Wide Web. So this is like an overview of some marks of the data. This is just in detail. I don't think we need to go a bit here. Like the first data goes back to 19,000 BC, where they discover this spoon, and this spoon is the first evidence for a person who tried to collect. Then this is just more explanation about why we choose this time. This is Captain John Grote. This is an English person, and during the Great Death in Europe in 1640 or so, of course, Great Death caused a lot of death cases around Europe, and he started, or he is the first one, start to collect numbers about the death and born of people, and start to think, okay, what is the cause behind this death? And he published, or he actually the first person who start to collect medical data, and he is the first person ever recorded person to start the data analysis. And he published this work in 1665 about natural and political observation. And the UK government decided, okay, this is great things, and we will start to issue a journal, weekly journal. That weekly journal will report the cases of the deaths and births. So actually, this is the first data analysis person who published his work in a weekly or a daily basis. This is a very nice story about a very famous things, and it shows you how your data that you will create is important, regardless if you consider it important or not. You can create your data in your master or your PhD, give it to your supervisor. Supervisor will look, okay, this is not good enough for your PhD or your master. Okay, but okay, it's accepted, but it's not good. Okay, so maybe your supervisor sees the data is not important or not good. You, as a student, you may see that it's not good, it's not relevant, but this is a good example of the importance of it. This guy actually is a Danish astronomer. He's very famous and as a person to record observation about stars. And in 1546 to 1601, he started to collect some information about stars, location of stars. And he died. Some data, right? Then Mr. Kepler, Johann Kepler, a German guy who came 30 years after, look at this data, look in detail at the data, and he came with his law of planetary motion, using the data that is collected by someone else. So the data for someone else who seemed it's not important, Kepler used it in order to produce his law. 100 years after, Isaac Newton came, look at the Kepler law, look at the original data sets, and he established his big physics. As you know, in physics, or you study physics either in secondary school or in faculty level, you have two physics. You have Isaac Newton physics, and you have quantum physics. So this is a type. So actually, he created a new type of science, just on the top of the knowledge, not knowledge, the information or the data that is collected by the first guy. So the first guy created data. He see it doesn't matter. He didn't see the importance of this data. The data at this time, the people was looking at it like meaningless, has no value. But others start to look at the data with some value. They start to collect and to transfer the data to some knowledge. Even there is people who has the wisdom enough to convert the knowledge to wisdom, to new science, to new revolution. In 1880, so like 100 years ago, more than 100 years ago, one American statistician was traveling, and he started to see in the train station, they have a tool in order to create the ticket for you. And this ticket, they just make a hole in the ticket to indicate the date of your travel. And he got an idea, okay, we can use this way in order to record the data. And this guy, actually, he invented this bunch cards. And if you look, this is 55. 55, this means we are like away around 70 years, 75 years, something like this. It's not so far. And this amount of data, this is bunch card, this is equal 5 megabytes. 5 megabytes, this is just one photo that you make by your mobile today. So you can imagine why one photo from your mobile today, like 70 years ago, equal to this amount. So this is just to show you the progress of how the process is going. Just in 70 years, this is almost nothing when you are look at the evolution of knowledge in general. But just in 50 years, everything is happening. So, do you think there is a difference between data and information and knowledge? Do you agree that the data is different than information than knowledge? This is what I said like 5 minutes ago, that data meaningless. Do you agree with me or disagree? Who is agree? Just raise your hand. Yeah. Disagree? No one. This is good. So there's just sort of some explanation, or again, another statement to say that data is meaningless. And in order to understand the data, we need to convert the data into information. So the data is individual fact, figures, single, measurements, just individual, has no meaning. If we convert this data, this figure, into organized way, structured way, start to categorize the data, we can get some information. If we start to look at the different category and start to make relation between them and start to get some idea, you get knowledge. If you put this knowledge in a larger context, understand it in a bit wider context, you create wisdom. And this is the example of the Kepler and Newton. So the first guy creates the data. Kepler came, converts the data into information and knowledge. Isaac Newton, 100 years after, came and converts this into wisdom. So what is the big data? The definition of big data is the data that contain greater variety, arriving in increased volume, and with more velocity. In order to understand this is called the 3V of the big data. Do you think from the second part of the lecture, we started like 10 minutes ago or so, during this 10 minutes, how much data produced worldwide? How many email was sent? How many message? Photos? Facebook or social media posts? People start to communicate just in 10 minutes. How much? Right? I think it's big amount. Or
It should be much more than we think.
yes, it's very big amount. It's maybe in terabytes, just created in the last 10 minutes. So simply big data is larger, complex data sets, especially from new data sources. These data sets are very big than the traditional data. So most probably normal software is not able to deal with such type. So when you are working with big data, most probably Excel and other software couldn't make it because it's very big. So you need to use existing tools to deal with this data or create. And what we are learning from this course, how you start to think about such type of data, how you are sorting them, and how you can create the tools or the codes that can analyze them. And in some stages, we can connect this data with existing tool like QGIS, for example, or connected to existing tool like, for example, Hadoop and this big infrastructure in order to understand and analyze big data. Today, we can see big data as 5V: volume, amount of the data; variety, the diversity of the data; velocity, the data is come very fast. In 1 minute, you can create hundreds of gigabytes. Variety of data, the accuracy of data is different. This is one of the big challenge. There is a lot of data now in social media, is just fake data. And all of this together gives a value of it. And I don't need to explain the value of the data if I give you that the biggest company worldwide is just work with it. Okay, like Google, Facebook, Apple actually, they are not working with data, they are producing hardware, but the majority of the data, the benefit for Apple is coming from data. If you look at their business model, they actually get the maximum amount for their benefit is from that. So data is equal to a lot of. But not only money, it's value for society. Data is knowledge. So as you will learn in this course and in the sustainability course, that we are facing a lot of challenge in our society today. Climate change. You see now Tromsø, for example, we are in 25, 26, like very hot summer in Tromsø, Arctic city. If you go down, people down is just burning 40, 45. Okay, there is a lot of climate change. There is a lot of challenge that's coming with. And in order to understand this, we need to look at data in order to create knowledge, in order to find patterns that can help us to solve this. This is again just to go a bit detail about what is the 5V in the deal. So volume, the amount of the data generated is very fast compared to traditional data. It can be by zettabyte or other. We need for this a larger driver, increase the data source, high resolution sensor. I think your computer should be like some gigabyte in order to start work with today's data. If your computer like 10 years old, you are not able to do anything anymore because your hardware can't do anything with the new data. Velocity, data is being generated very fast, process that never stop. It's every minute we create data at speed at which data is transformed into the insight. It's almost near real-time data now. And in order to get this in consideration, we need to improve conductivity and to find a better way in order to connect ourselves to the world using internet and other things. Variety, data come from different form, different source, different people. It can be photos, it can be text, it can be social media, it can be numbers, it can be everything. And this actually gives complexity to the data. Veracity, this is about quality and the originality of the data. So the quality of the data is different from one to one, from source to source. And this is a big challenge in order to discover what's the data that is real data and what's this fake data. And all of this together give us to the 5V, which is the value of it. So this is like a big hint to show you the history of big data. We ended up in 1955, where this guy who was discover how to create this Bonket card in order to create the data or to save the data. In 65, the US government built the first data center in order to store millions of fingerprint and tax returns. 69, 4 years after, the first internet message was streamed between UCLA and Stanford. 73, like 4 years after, actually the satellite started to transfer signal between the Norwegian seismic array and this supercomputer or computer in US. And this is the first internet connection ever. Then in 77, we had the personal computer, and Apple people was behind this innovation. 89, British computer scientist Tim Berners-Lee, he was working for CERN. he came with the idea of www, the internet. 93 CERN decided that to make the internet available for everyone for free. 93, this just yesterday. Then, if you look after this, Oracle, actually, this is one of the biggest data company, established 77, Microsoft 75. This is the big players in this game. Amazon 94, Google 89. I don't think any of you are born in 89 or before, after 89. Yes, right? You? After, yes. Majority of you are after, yeah. Facebook 2004, yesterday. Twitter 6, again yesterday. Netflix a bit older, 97. And then if we go down the OpenAI, this bigger change, the big game change that just launched their first big AI model last year in 2023. They established in 2015, like 5 years, 6 years ago. And they established or they published their first model 1 year ago. And this is big game change. They just will change everything. This is some example about using big data in biology, ecology, and sustainability. I think we have 45 minutes, so maybe we'll skip this. But in general, if you are working with any type of data, sustainability data, ecology data, with biology data, you start to collect millions of points. If you're working with DNA, for example, and in order to understand this, you need big data, because this is big data. You need a tool in order to handle this type of data. So I will skip this. This is future direction. Actually, this is just brainstorming about you. You need to think from here to next week about critical, try to think about the future of your science, future of your work, using this big data and AI things. How this can drive something in the future. Why we need AI? Simply AI, the artificial intelligence, as we will see, in order to create a model, you need data. You need to train the model with data. So actually AI require data. And the data require AI in order to understand the pattern in the data. So actually it's depend on each other. So in order to understand data, you need to, the big data, you need to go for the AI solution. But in order to create this AI solution, you need data to create them. So it's depend on each other. Why we need AI? Simply because if you think that the data is produced as big data, very fast, very big amount, and in order to get value and knowledge out of it, our human capacity couldn't make it. Normal computer programs couldn't make it. You need to start to use the AI in order to analyze, this is fake data, or there is a trend here in this data. We can extend and can go a bit deeper to see what's the trend in the big data. So the AI is a tool to make the life a bit faster. Okay, we can read this because this is what I said already. Good. So this is the first thing, the pre-course survey. I will share this with email with you. So I think not all of you that now on Canvas, who are already on Canvas, who his application already accepted for the course.
I think I got accepted, but on Canvas I don't see the course.
Yeah, the course is not published yet. I should publish it. Actually, the plan is to publish it yesterday, at least the first lecture, but I was not able. So I will publish the first lecture tonight. But who is accepted? Who is waiting? I think you, Lisa. You are waiting. Who other is waiting? Okay. Anyway, maybe before we leave the room today, you can just write your email in a piece of paper. And then today evening, we will share with you this link. It's like 5 minutes, just a pre-survey, what you are expected from this course. The structure of the course, again, the course is not focused on programming or statistic. So if you are here to learn programming, it's not the place. If you are here to learn more statistic, again, it's not your place. The course is mainly about brainstorming. We will have a problem, and then I will give you an example, a similar problem, and I will show you a code. We will use Python. I will show you a code that used to be solve this problem, but it's up to you. You can use the same code, or you can use similar different code. So it's mainly about to inspire you to think outside the box. It's provide a high-level perspective with a broad overview rather than narrow focus. We are not focusing on narrow thing, but as you will see, we will cover a lot and wide diverse topics. The course is designed as a challenge base. So actually we will start our challenge from next lecture. It's team-based. So actually we will be like in 2 or 3 groups, and each group will start to work, and the solution that you will create in this group can be different than the same solution or different solution that is created by another. The course will cover various topics with lecture serving as introduction. So almost the lecture is an introduction to the topic. Then, as I will show you in the next diagram, I don't need to read this. And then you will start to progress during the challenge to get more knowledge. So maybe at the beginning you will find it's okay, it's boring, but with the time you will see the value until the last lecture. At the last lecture, you will look at your journey and you find, okay, we get something. So actually the course started like with an introduction to a topic. So we will start different topic. It's wide range of topic. We will choose the topic. And during the lecture will divide into 2 pieces. The first piece is some knowledge around the topic, basic knowledge. And then we will go to a case study, like a challenge. And then I will show you how this works. And then you need to replicate this challenge at home, read more about the topic. And this is actually the home assignment. So after each lecture, you will have a home assignment, and this is up to you. You read more, you watch material on the canvas, you read video, maybe you ask to write short article, things like this. And after that, once you start to be involved around the topic, we will have the seminar. And in the seminar, you will start to apply what you learned by yourself in the group. And here we will have discussion between the group. You have an idea, I would like to apply this method in order to analyze this data. Your friend or your colleague in the group disagree with you. So actually in the group work, it's mainly not to only find the best way, but to argue and to think and to work in group. How to be friend, how to conclude, or how to find solution to a problem, but not as individual, as a group. So the group working actually aiming not only to teach you, but it's mainly to exchange knowledge. We have people here who are advanced in the AI or knowledge in, have a good knowledge in programming, who can help you to learn. There is people who can discover during the home exercise, okay, I can write this code easy peasy, 1 line. So this guy can help the rest of them. Then after the group, we will have sort of self-reflection. This self-reflection will be like every week. This can be done between us at the end of the group or the early part of the next lecture. Sometimes the self-reflection will be like home assignment, like, this is like something you will get mark on that, and sometimes not. So as I told you, you will have to send out 2 self-reflection, one on the next lecture and one sometime in November about the group workage. And this self-reflection is important. These 2 exercises are important because this is equal to 40% of the mark. And finally, we start a new topic. And again, the cycle starts like this. And as you see, everything is based on project. So we will use, or you will use a project. You will choose a project. The group will choose a database. And then we will use this database as a challenge. And over the weeks, we will start to, I will give you how to visualize data using a case example from my side. And then you will start to apply it in your data. Ethical consideration and the challenge. Actually, this is one of the most important things in the course. Actually, the course is a start with ethical consideration and end with ethical consideration. So the course, actually, the first lecture or the second lecture next week will be about what we call data management plan. Any one of you heard about this data management plan? No? PhD students? Yeah, some no. Okay. So actually, this is something it's required, normally required in projects. Some professors or some supervisor require it from their PhD. Before you start your PhD, you need to have in place what's called DMP, Data Management Plan. And this is like a document that will control the flow of the data in your project. And this is the first exercise. So the first exercise, next week, I will explain to you what is the data management plan, how you can do it, give you some example from the data management plan. And then sometime in November, as a group, you will work together in order to write data management plan for your project, the project that you will handle during the course. And this data management plan will be submitted middle of October with a self-reflection if you, as a person, agree on the group work or not. If you are agree with this data management plan, then we have like a series of lecture and topics. And the last lecture will be ethical and consideration challenge related to using AI and big data in general. This is our last lecture. Between this, within this course, actually, this was a request from our colleagues. Maybe I can use that. This one.
I asked if I understand well the data management plan to be done because of the ethical considerations.
Sort of. Sort of, yes. It's not only ethical consideration, but the value of money, the knowledge that created to society. It's different things. But ethical consideration is one of the things that is important for the data management plan. Okay, so here you can see, I hope you can see, after next lecture, we have series of lecture, which is almost the full course. And then end of the course, we have this ethical consideration of using AI. So actually, our colleagues last year, they highlighted at the end of the course that they would like to see more in the introduction lecture, what is here. So what is here? Normally, when you are collecting data, you first collect data. Then you start to pre-process or process this data. Or clean the data. And after that, you start to look in detail to get some statistic. Then you start to visualize the data. And then you will start to create knowledge out of this data or information out of the data. And if you are working with big data, you need, besides this, you need some tools like using Hadoop. Maybe you have like texts that you produce during your PhD from interview. So maybe you need to look at this text. So maybe we need like a natural language process, which is an AI tool. Maybe you need to present your data on a map. So we will need something like GIS tool to present the data. So actually, we will start not from next lecture. Everything here should be mentioned in the data management. So next week, we will start with data management plan. Then week after, actually, we will skip this. Actually, this is the first step, but this is actually our last lecture. Because it's a bit complicated, so it will be our last lecture. You need to get some basics first. So we'll start lecture or two, depending on the time. Visualization of data, this is minimum 2 lectures, not 3. And then during the visualization, we will go to the GIS. So Vicky here will help us with the GIS. And then we return back to our flow, get more information about the data. And now we are almost end of November. We will get lecture about Hadoop, lecture about natural language process, and then 1 or 2 lecture about how to collect the data. And the final lecture will be the ethics. So we will get all the overview. In each lecture, you will get some knowledge, you will think about it, and then it's up to you to apply it in your project or not. It's up to you to apply it in your research problem. Good? Great. Super duper. So I think that is all. I think so. Yeah, this is the first workshop preparation. So actually, I don't know exactly. I think this is Friday, if I remember correctly. Friday, right?
It's at 10 o'clock on Friday.
Yeah, it should be Friday.
10 to 12.
Yeah. But actually, you can't see it because you are PhD. So PhD will not see it, but it's Friday at 10 o'clock. If you like to join, perfect. Okay. So Friday, only the master student can come or should come. PhD, if you would like to come, please feel free, just come. And then we'll start to like arrange ourselves in 1 group, 2 group, we'll see. And then we will start to go in more detail. Before that, I will publish a list of resources, different data or data sets. And you need to go through these different data sets as a group and choose 1 or 2 of them. And this will be your data that you will work with all over the way until the end. So the next Friday will be mainly around designing the group, know each other, and then choose the data. This is the main things. And if you didn't fill out the pre-course survey, we will have enough time to fill it during the workshop or the seminar. Any questions? Comments? Yeah, please, Kada.
We will organize it this Friday and not now.
No, not now. But I think now you are know each other, I hope, by the exercise of the day. If you have time, you would like to arrange it today, tomorrow, okay? If not, Fridays, okay?
So starting 4:15.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in another
We
building.
already filmed. So I should stop. Stop the recording as well.